Education experts are concerned about the high levels of persistent power cuts in the country, which they fear could negatively affect pupils, particularly at public schools. It comes soon after 2 years of disruptions caused by coronavirus-related lockdowns. Natalie Malgas has our report.
According to leading education economists, the challenges facing the national school structure are compounded by the impact of the prevailing energy crisis.
The average 10-year-old today knows less than the average 9-year-old in 2019, before the pandemic. So huge learning losses that are now being doubly impacted by load shedding. And the second thing is that load shedding impacts education in ways that's quite difficult to define. It's not just the lights going off in the classroom. It's things like the school gate not opening and closing, so security is an issue. It's things like heating. How do you cook the school meals? Cooling. Fans and air conditioners in extremely hot classrooms that have got 50 children in it means that learning also suffers there.
The burden of power outages affects rural and urban schools differently. The expense of securing backup power or investing in renewable energy sources isn't a feasible option for many schools. At the same time, blackouts cost the economy an estimated 4 billion rand every day.
The load shedding is not going to fall equally on rich and poor. So if you have USPs, that means that you have uninterrupted electricity at home or internet at home in a rich household, but in poor households where there's no buffering of load shedding, the same thing is true of schools. If a school has a generator and can afford to buy a generator, they can keep the lights on when load shedding happens, or keep the fans going, keep the school gate working, etc. Whereas in poor schools, they won't be able to do that.
For Spall, the biggest concern remains the impact of outages on pupils studying at home.
When parents and caregivers can't use electricity for lighting and heating, they often resort to burning very dirty fuels. And this is really bad for children's respiratory health. It's bad for very young children. It can even lead to stunting, some research has shown.
Experts warn without electricity security, the different ways in which schools rely on power is going to impact pupils in the long run and for many years to come. For Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405, I'm Natalie Malgas in Cape Town.